My dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer about 7 or 8 years ago with mantle cell disease, and during his treatment and leading up to his treatment he needed lots of blood transfusions. I learned a lot about the different types of blood because my dad actually has a rare type of blood. Kind of opened my eyes to how much blood donating is kind of huge around the country and the world. Northern Ireland needs 1,200 blood donors every week. Every blood donation saves 3 people's lives.
Hi, I'm Tom. As you can see, I've had over 300 blood transfusions, multiple platelet transfusions and 2 bone marrow transplants, and they all have been donated by generous donors, so please consider donating today. It's what's kept me alive.
Every year, more than 2,000 people in the UK will need a stem cell transplant. Only 7% of the UK population is currently registered as a potential stem cell donor. A stem cell transplant can mean a second chance at life for a patient in need, who in most cases will have no other option but to rely on the kindness of a stranger. Registering is incredibly easy. All you have to do is visit dkms.org.uk and order your free swab kit to your home, and return it to DKMS and you'll be on the register.
Although the law has changed, your family will still have the final decision. You can help your family by signing the organ donor register and having a conversation to tell them your wishes. When families don't know their loved one's wishes, only 5 out of 10 agree to organ donation. This rises to 9 out of 10 if they know their loved one wanted to donate. Taking 2 minutes to register now can save 9 lives in the future. To join the register, visit organdonationni.info or call NHS Donor Line at 0300 123 2323.
This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today's Tuesday, the 10th of December, 2024. My name's Patrick Smith. I'm joined, of course, by the statistician for the Belfast Giants, David McGimsey, and the one and only legend of local ice hockey, Simon Kitchen. Over the next hour or more, we'll be bringing you through all the news and views of the Belfast Giants from the last week. We're live or on demand on YouTube, X, Facebook. You can also listen to us through all the really good podcast providers. If you're watching live on any of the platforms, get involved with comments in the chat box. We're always watching. We may see your comment on screen. The Giants closed out their road swing, 5-game road swing with a couple of wins, overtime in Cardiff and battering the Blaze in Coventry. We'll take a look at those and the news from within the Giants and across the league. We'll also have a few guests. Later we'll speak with defenseman Gabe Bast, who returned to the Giants this year after a season back in North America. And then we'll continue on our ongoing series of discussions with some of the legends from the last 25 seasons of the Belfast Giants. Tonight, Super Kevin Riehl. We asked him about joining the Giants, that playoff semi-final goal, semi-final penalty shot, and maybe his time with Jason Ruff and Sean Behrens, amongst other things. Gentlemen, I hope you're well. It's cold, it's coming to Christmas. Unfortunately, I'm going to skip the normal pleasantries that we have because we're going to batter ahead. Some couple of important guests coming straight away. And this time of year, the Belfast Giants always work to try and make Christmas a special time for all and to help the less fortunate. And as always, when we look at these drives, we welcome on our favorite person, the one and only Laura Small. How you doing, Laura?
Oh wow, Paddy, that was smooth.
No, what can I say? I do my best. We're also delighted to be joined by a man who jumps in and has a great chat with us, and that's, of course, the one, the only Marcin McGann. How you doing, mate?
All right, folks, how's it going? Great to have me on. I thought you were talking about me for a second there when you were saying about your favorite person. I got my hopes up.
You go into one of my favorite people.
Here I know, but I
Laura,
realized
Laura, we all know Laura's the favorite person. In this
here, without a shadow of a doubt.
Simon, is that the case for you?
Silence is golden. So, Laura, let's crack in. Obviously, this is a time of year when the Giants do some great things but what have we got in the next couple of weeks?
Tomorrow, my days are all mixed up. Tomorrow is Organ Donation Discussion Day. So I'm going to chat a little bit now about blood donation and stem cell donation, and Martin will talk about organ donation as he is our fearless leader in that area, changing the law, no big deal or anything. So blood donors, only around 6% of people in Northern Ireland who are eligible to become blood donors do. That is insane to me. It's just so low, and it's such an easy thing to do. Even Simon can do it. And when you go and donate blood, Davy, don't look at me like that. I don't need your attitude as well as Simon's. So one blood donation can save 3 people's lives. Basically, Northern Ireland needs 1 new blood donor every 8 minutes. That is insane. I think people don't realize how much blood is needed. So car accidents, cancer patients, childbirth, just so many different things. It's carried by the air ambulance. Like, such a low number of people donate, but the statistic, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's something like 95% of people will accept blood when they need it. So I don't mean this in a savage way, but if you're willing to accept it, why are you not willing to give it? So sign up, go to Northern Ireland Blood Transfusion Service and sign up. Tomorrow night at the game, they're going to be on the bridge. I haven't chatting to you about it, explaining why it's so important. They're also going to have their mascot, which I think is called Billy Blood Drop, around the place. So feel free, get a wee picture with him and tag them, help just spread awareness about them. Then tomorrow night also on the bridge, we've done it for a couple of years now. We're going to be doing swab testing with DKMS. This is the most basic kind of test you can do. It is less offensive than a COVID test, if you can remember those. It is literally a swab in your cheek, a swab in your cheek, and a swab again. Like, it's painless. It takes a couple of minutes. You send it in and you join a register that could literally save somebody's life. Every 20 minutes, someone in the UK is diagnosed with blood cancer. That is a bonker statistic as well. And again, only 7% of the eligible population are registered to be hairs in one today. Sorry. It's just so big. Only 7% of the people in the UK are registered as on the DKMS register, which is insane. So 2 ways you can, if you're not coming to the game, you can go to the dkms.org.uk, I think is the website, and sign up there, and they send it out to your house. Otherwise, come along, come up to the desk, chat to us, we'll tell you a bit about it, and then do your swab test there and go back to the game, and you're done. And you might potentially save someone's life. Actually, last year, I'm not going to name the person, but I'm sure they won't mind me telling their story. Last year, when we were doing it, again, around this date in December, this man came up to me and he said, "Laura, can I speak to you?" And I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be something bad, because generally people think it's okay to rant and rave at me about anything they want. So, but actually it was to say that he had been contacted that day to say he was a match for someone from the year before's testing that we'd done, which is unbelievable. He was actually the second closest match and then became the first. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for the patient, but it's still incredible. It shows that someone that we are testing in our fan base is actually potentially was going to save someone's life. That is just absolutely amazing. Some people, I just want to talk about this really quickly and then I will shut up for a second. People are still really, I know it's hard to believe, Simon, don't say it. Some people are reluctant to sign up to be donors for blood cancer because they associate it with the really old school way that it used to be done. So it used to be drawn from your hip with I'm not going to dress it up with a nasty big needle, like a real howler. 95% of them now are just done through blood withdrawal. So all that old way is pretty much all gone. And yes, there's still a small number that are done. So like from just swabbing your mouth, getting some blood with, I'm making it very basic, some with blood withdrawal, you can save someone's life. And it's very difficult to find a match. So I think you've got a very low chance. So I think that's why it's so important to sign up to the register. And that's me done. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologise. Martine, from your point of view, obviously, and with young Dahi and the work that was put in to change the law, how important is this that people get involved, that people understand why they need to be involved?
Well, do you know, the law's been changed now for over a year. So I think the statistics come out last year and 14 people were saved through Dahi's law, which, you know, it filled us with pride because it was, you know, we were the driving force behind that campaign. But see, to be honest, since that, I felt our campaign has lost a bit of its momentum because there's a bit of a job done kind of thing in the air, and we don't like that at all because, you know, the job's not done. And to be honest, the job won't be done when and if Dahi gets the gift of a new heart, because this problem, it's always going to be there. So the way we look at Dahi's law, it's a bit of a safety net, but we want people to take action. We want people to make a decision on organ donation. We want them to join the register, but we also want them to share their wishes with their loved ones as well, because, you know, what the Belfast Giants are doing with us, giving us this platform, what you guys are doing, continuously giving us this platform, you know, we truly believe that words will save or will help save our Dahi's life or give him the best chance at it. You know, I've said many occasions that, like, no amount of money, no special treatment, none of this can't save our Dahi's life. But, you know, a simple conversation can, sharing your organ donation decision with your loved ones, it can really make a difference. And, you know, just over the years of campaigning, we're in this campaign now over 6 years, and the amount of families that have reached out to me to say, we donated our loved ones' organs because of your Dahi story. And although we know that, you know, we can't choose to donate individual organs, that even hearing that people's lives are being saved in Dahi's name it's incredible. And it's conversations like this, it's platforms like this, it's helping that. And, you know, I usually have Dahi with me, beside me, and spreading, you know, there's not many of our fan base that haven't met our Dahi and maybe haven't had a dig in the coop by our Dahi. But like, he's getting to the age now where I can't have the conversations that I want to with people because he's getting so aware. He's 8 years old now, and all our Dahi wants to do is have the energy, have to run about like his mates, to go out into the yard at school. You know, to get out of his wheelchair and play football, to play hockey. And he can't do that because he can't last more than 10 seconds walking. And to be honest, he's now starting to realise that he's so different from people, and all he wants is the chance to be able to do that. And the last couple of years around Christmas time, you know, just with the communications head on or whatever, it's like, you know, Dahi really wants a new heart from Santa. But, like, I can tell you now that Dahi is begging for a new heart from Santa now, because all Dahi wants is to be able to do what normal people his age do, or to have the best chance at that. And I just have to be worried about what I say now in front of him, because he now knows what happens if he doesn't get the gift of a new heart. And, like, this is only me talking. There's so many families in our position, you know, waiting on the gift of organ donation or stem cell donation or blood donation. And, like, I don't think people understand the significance of, you know, the likes of tomorrow night, that a conversation or doing a swab or signing up to be a blood donor. It's the difference that you can make now. I can remember I had a conversation with Kieran Long about this a few months ago, and we were just, you know, you seen him in the video there, and I just said to him about you know, about the importance of blood donation as well. Is that about a month before the Giants came into our lives, my mother passed away, and we were able to say bye. We were able to say our goodbyes to my mummy because of blood donation, because she got an extra 3 weeks because of blood donation, and the you know, the comfort that brings us. So even people at the end of their journey are benefiting because of of these conversations, and but where Dahi's concerned really is that, you know, we're just, you know, I know we come across a lot of the times very positive, but we're in such a desperate situation, and we just feel that it's, especially where organ donation is concerned, is that, you know, simple making a decision and sharing your wishes with your family could potentially save up to 9 lives. It's as simple as that for us, but sometimes it's a wee bit frustrating because it's so simple that sometimes people can take it for granted.
Martin, the hard work that you and your family and all the people surrounded it have put in over the years, and obviously, you know, Dahi is at the center of it, and you know, our heart goes out to you, and we hope that, you know, that you're able to find, and that we're able to find that gift of a heart for Dahi for Christmas, and I think, Laura, as well, you know, the work that's been done by the Belfast Giants and by yourselves to put this sort of on and raising that awareness is so incredibly important. And anybody watching in or listening in, you know, you go to these websites, go to DKMS, go to Text Blood, you give blood organ donation as well, and get yourself involved, because you could be somebody who, just by putting your name on the register, just by putting your name down, just by making your loved ones aware of your intentions, that when the time comes that you want to be that donor, you could be saving lives. Before we go on, just Laura as well, we've got the Teddy Toss happening in the next week or two.
Yeah, sorry, just real quick.
Yes.
Just about organ donation. Davy, shut up. It has affected so many people just in our fan base that we know of. There's one lady who's had a heart transplant. There's a lady who got a kidney from her husband. And I know I say this every year, but there's always somebody new watching this who doesn't maybe get. No, I changed my...
There's people not watching. Darren Hitchin has pointed out that Laura's clock has stopped again. How's your clock stopped?
No, it's perfect. I literally put the battery in right before. I was like, oh, someone's going to say about my clock.
Sorry, I sidetracked you there.
Okay, so one lady had a kidney given by her husband. Nicole's had a cornea transplant, which I actually just talked to my friend about it today, because he said, take anything but my eyes. And I used to be like that too, but Nicole didn't have that, she wouldn't be able to see. And I definitely can't see when I'm dead. So just, if they're any use by that point, take them out, work away. Blake had a heart valve. What's that noise? Davey, is that your toes?
No, man. Got my shoes back on, kid.
Blake had a heart valve. Dylan just defies me. He got a liver and donated a liver all at one go. Tom, with over 300 blood transfusions kept him alive, plus over 100 platelets. That's a lot. And then finishing with 1.5 to 2 bone marrow transplants. And then there's a man with a double lung transplant, and then Dahi waiting. Like, within our smallish, I know we're growing all the time, fan base, like, that is just the people we know. It is crazy. And people are saying, oh, she's talking about that again. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be a thing. And you don't know when it's going to affect you or someone in your family. So have a conversation, be aware. That's all. I said I'll move on to the teddies now, because that sounded a wee bit mean at the end. Sorry.
No,
all righty. So
Sunday
teddy toss. Also, I would ask people to refrain from some negativity that has happened over the years. That, oh, we lose when we do the teddy toss. I don't want to hear that. we lose because we weren't good enough, not because we did the teddy toss. I'm sorry. That's not an excuse for losing, and I don't want that.
Skipping the Giants as well, is that on?
No, it is not. So calm down. But there is a signing session. So both of those will be the reason.
Yeah. Okay,
so that's my lecture over on that. Teddy toss. So same as always, please, brand new. If you can't afford brand new, don't worry, just don't do it. It's no problem. Just share the post, like the post, promote it. But every year I say this, and every year I still get a teddy that says Tesco 2009 or years old. That's foul. So that goes the dog home. That absolutely cannot go to a hospital or the children's hospital. It has to be so clean. We're going into a sterile environment, especially now after COVID. We're so aware of germs. So please, brand new, put it in a bag. And if you don't want to do the teddy toss, there's also the option to do Cash for Kids. Cash for Kids received 9,111 applications that they're going to actually process. I think they've done 7,900 approximately. That was about 4 days ago. They've still got people. Oh, amazing. They still got people on a wait list. And right now they are really, really, really low in certain areas. One is under 3s. So sounds really basic, but nappies, baby wipes, baby clothing, sensory toys, dolls, things for the bath, just little small items probably is better for smaller kids. And then girls aged 9 to 12, it's normally boys. I feel like I've spent so many years saying boys, teenage boys, and now it's a girl's turn. So these are the things that Cash for Kids have asked me, in case you think I'm just like free balling what I would think you should get. Nail polishes, bath bombs, stationery sets, makeup sets, Barbies. If you have a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old or from 9 to 12 is the age group, you maybe know better than I do. I don't have any children. But please bring it along on Sunday to door 1 where we'll be doing collections. They are really struggling now, and it's getting, I can't believe we're actually this close to Christmas. It's wild. So if you're not coming on Sunday and you want to bring it tomorrow, I'll happily take it tomorrow as well. No problem. Just leave it at the concierge. Sorry, that's my lecture over.
No, that's perfect. Guys, listen, it's so important the Giants do these sort of things. So important this time of year, well, any time of year, really. But we really appreciate you both coming on, and hopefully, we'll come back to it in more details at the end of the show when we start to do a bit of a recap. But, hopefully it goes really, really well, and it's good to see you both.
Good to see you too, Paddy.
Thanks very much for having us.
Bye, Marcin. See you tomorrow.
Really appreciate it.
Big thanks to Laura and the Marching for their time. We'll come back to this because we want to recap and all the sort of information and all sort of stuff, and we'll come back to this as we go through the show. Gentlemen, 2 games for the Belfast Giants over the course of the weekend. Both on the road to finish a 5-game road swing. 2 victories, 1 in overtime over the Cardiff Devils, and an absolute battering of the Blaze in Coventry. Let's start with that Cardiff game, and let's hear from the coaches.
I think we started the game really well with some chances. We never took them. I think then we went down. Do you know what I mean? We're 2-0 down. I think we go 2-1, 3-1 down. I thought the second period was pretty poor by us. I thought it was a scrappy period both ways, but especially from us, we gave up chances. A 3-1 with control and stuff. And I thought the third period we were better in the third period. I felt we good push back and we tied the game up, which is they're a good team. It's hard. And then we had a big chance at the end. We're unlucky to run out of space when he went in. But overtime they were better than us. We couldn't get the puck. Do you know what I mean? They won a couple of draws, and then it's hard in overtime when you don't have the puck. So, but I think it was a point gained in the end. When you're 3-1 down against a team like that, I think to pull it back shows a lot of character. So that's a positive.
That was a little bit chaotic, wasn't it? I thought Cardiff came out very well, and then we get one kind of against the run of play there to kind of calm our game down. I thought it was kind of a back and forth game there. They put us under some pressure. I thought we had some good looks ourselves there. We probably could have got it done in regulation. If they score on their chances, they probably could have got it done in regulation as well. So I thought that, for us, it was a clutch penalty kill there at the very end of that game. A very big save by Jackson to kind of give us that opportunity to get the job done in overtime. And overtime, I thought our guys managed the puck very well and deserved that goal. So it was nice to see PO get the job done.
Goal scorers for the Cardiff Devils, Joey Martin and 2 from Olszewski. For the Belfast Giants, Josh Roach, Karaguchi, Cameron Pound, who was just shy of a Gordie Howe hat-trick. And P.O. Warren scored the overtime winner. Jackson Whistle in nets for the Belfast Giants. Davy, you know what? The Giants went out to a bit of a commanding lead. As we heard, the Devils showed a bit of guts to come back into it, but that overtime period was just one-sided.
Yeah, listen, I think the coaches are right. They were there. They were watching their teams. The Cardiff Devils actually started the game really, really well. If anything, we were on the pump there for the first 5-6 minutes of the game. We didn't have much ozone time. We didn't have actually much possession. Cardiff really pushed us back. I think they hit the pipes. They certainly had a number of opportunities well to go in the lead, but we weathered that storm really well and we grew into the game. It hadn't been an easy weekend in terms of travel. That big storm was, forecast. They ended up having to travel a day before on a very bumpy flight and changed long bus drive and stuff. So factors coming into play there, took us 10 minutes or so to shake those bus legs and that travel day out of the system. And then we got a hold of the game. A really good goal from Josh Roach. Well worked down in the corner there. Bobo Carpenter throws a lovely pass across them and he just takes a wee one touch, settles himself and absolutely buries it. And from then, we've gone into 2-goal lead in the period. One back, I think it was on the power play. Cardiff maybe scored on a suspect power play at that too. And then Cameron Pound comes up with a lovely one. Just I think it's Kieran Long comes across the blue line, well, the red line, blue line, whatever you call it, and lays body on body, knocks the puck loose. Peter Marin puts Cameron Pound away. And Pound just comes down, and I was very lucky. I'm right down the pipe of it, and he shoots it, and he doesn't think he scored because he wheels away, and it's Kieran Long that gets in the net. Bounds, sort of gets half handcuffed. Just goes through him, and there's Pound as well. There'd been a little incident in front of the net. I can't remember whether it was Bush or whatever that Pound had offered, and it said no, and then so obviously Riley Brandt jumped on and said, right, let's go, and he wasn't found wanting. He maybe got one of the best punches of the fight in, and then it becomes a wee bit of UFC there. But fair play to him, a lot of energy then going through the team at that stage. And, we go on, get the second goal, go into first period, a couple up. And, yeah, they pegged us back to kind of, hate to say individual mistakes, but we at 3-1 were maybe overplaying, looking for a fourth rather than maybe managing the clock, managing the neutral zone, and we've given away a couple of breakaways that they've scored from, and then with like 7, 8, 9 seconds or something left in the clock, they go through 1-on-1. Jackson Whistle makes the save of the night to give us the opportunity to get that extra point, go to overtime, which we absolutely dominated. I'm not sure that Cardiff had more than maybe 1 or 2 touches. Clearances, we won the face-offs, and then it's a lovely play from Kawaguchi. Simon will talk about as well, just draws him in, pops it across to Morin, who's coming in the left, and he just takes it at pace, goes forehand, backhand, and bounds to win the game. And you know what? Absolutely deserved win. I've read some Cardiff Devils fans saying they were unlucky. I thought the Giants should have and maybe could have won this in regulation. So, as Pete Russell, our coach, said, it was a point game for them on the night.
I was quite disappointed at the fact that they got a point out of that game. Personally, I thought that we were good for a regulation win. I know, Susan, we'll throw the game in here as well. I know you said that you think that the Cardiff Devils are a danger, but from this showing, I'm not so sure.
I still think they're going to be thereabouts at the end of the season for sure. Boundsy, an uncharacteristic mistake by Boundsy on Cameron Pound's goal, to be very, very honest. Poundy, he didn't get all of it. I think it was towards the end of his shift. To be honest, that's the sort of role that we need Cameron Pound to be doing. There's guys already. Brandt's a wee rat that runs about and it throws big hits and does exactly what you'd expect a fourth liner to do. And with Cameron Pound, playing it forward and being adaptable from the obviously the next night he went on to play D. But that's the sort of role we need. And him to step up when Riley Brandt's not on the ice, guys can then get their head up a little bit more and have that little bit more space because he does throw his body about and guys, bottom line is people don't like getting hit and the games these days now you just need to keep that head up. But the bottom line is, Davey just touched on it there. We made a couple of mistakes in the third period. The Devils they score a lot of third period goals. I don't know what the total is. But I would say they probably score more third period goals than everybody else in the league because they don't give in. They got it back from 3-1 to 3-3. Peter Russell then touched on the overtime side of things, and the overtime was won by us because we got the puck. Face-offs, I don't think we lost a face-off in OT, Davey. I know you'd keep a better closer eye than I would. Ben Lake won a couple, Collins won a couple. And that's what you need to do. You need to get the puck in overtime and just basically get in the right spot at the right time. And that little touch into Kawaguchi from Moran, and then Moran just drives the net. Nobody gets an eye on him. So really great result going into Cardiff. That's the second time now we've beat them in Cardiff this year. We beat them once.
3-1. 3-1 earlier this season.
3-1 at home as well. So the big thing for us is this is the part, you've won 2 in a row. It doesn't matter. You need to win 3, then you need to win 4, then you need to win 5. There's no point in going away to Coventry and Cardiff and winning if you're going to come home to get beat by Dundee. This is the thing that Adam's going to be drumming into the guys. We need to keep this going. We need to, if whoever gets on a run of 7, 8, 9 wins in a row, that this is the big part of the season now. We need to try and get some real big wins together coming in towards Christmas.
I think that's where I'm not convinced about the Cardiff Devils at the minute, says, because yes, we beat them twice in their own barn. We've taken 4 points from the 2 trips we've been there. They've taken a win over Sheffield, but it was the other week when they were missing Matt Greenfield. And we've seen this week with Greenfield in nets, the Sheffield Steelers are a completely different side. Sometimes they're looking like a one-man band if Greenfield's in there. But Cardiff, while they've been gaining points, they've been gaining points against the teams you think they should be gaining points. Fife, Clan, Dundee, but they've lost twice to the Nottingham Panthers this season, and the Panthers aren't a great side. So it'll be interesting to see if the Cardiff Devils can show the potential. You've got guys in there, and Joey Martin, who's no spring chicken. Evan Mosey's he joined the Panthers 10 years ago, and he's still in the league. So can these guys and arguably I thought in this game Evan Mosey was one of their best players. And can these guys do it down the stretch? When we get to January, February, Joey Martin, what is he, 33, 34?
35.
You know what I mean? So, are these guys going to have the stamina? I didn't think Cole Sanford was very good in this game. I think he was ultimately at fault from one, maybe even the overtime goal as well. So, interesting to see whether Cardiff Devils will be able to fight and get the points from the top teams that will end up them being in a title fight.
Well, again, it's valid points that you bring up. You talk about Nottingham beating Coventry twice, just for the record, they beat us twice as well away.
They have. You're absolutely. That is a very, very fair point. Very fair point.
Nottingham are a good team. Again, whoever gets it doesn't have to be us. I'm just saying I would prefer it being us. But whoever gets on a run of winning 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row, they're gonna really basically make a big dent in this league. It's where we are right now. As I say, I mentioned it in the podcast a few weeks ago. We need to get healthy. We're getting healthy. We've now got guys back. If Mike Lee's arguably the only one left, but Joe Cassetti's out long term. But hopefully Mike Lee's going to be back this week, and we'll see where we're at. But we have got a good team. Everybody keeps on saying about Cardiff and Sheffield and other options, Coventry again. If we can basically stay fit, if we can get healthy, we're going to do all right.
There's a lovely finish there as well for the overtime winner from P.O. Moran. Really, really fluid move, Davy.
He doesn't stop moving his feet. Simon preaches it all the time here. He pops this off to Kawaguchi and he goes, and the D-man sort of just takes a wee 1 second off, and Morin has got inside him again. He just keeps moving his feet, goes to the net, and then, just as I said earlier, forehand, backhand, pops it past bounds. There had been a massive penalty kill before that as well. We had to kill a few penalties on Saturday and Sunday night. I thought the PK across the weekend was really great. Started the game strong. There was penalties earlier in the game. There was penalties late in the game, and they killed so well. So it was a really, I said to you guys after Sunday, I think it was you two, I was talking to on WhatsApp anyway, that I felt this was a wee bar set by the guys at the weekend. I thought these two performances, when you take them as a pair of performances, I think it's probably been, I know you get very attached to what's just happened in front of you, but I'm going to say it often, strongest performance of the season so far, blah, blah, blah. I thought these were probably the best two side-by-side games over the course of the weekend, or over the course of the season, sorry.
Highlights in this game are from our friends at Devils TV. Let's get cracking into the next game with regards to the Coventry Blaze and the 6-1 win. And we'll also be bringing in Gabe Bast as part of this for a bit of a chat. But first of all, let's hear from the coaches, as we tend to do.
I thought Belfast came in and outworked us and outplayed us, and they took it to us, and we weren't up to our standard.
Was it one of those games where timely scoring would have made a big difference at 3-1, getting a next goal on the power play that came after might change the complexion of the game?
No, I think we lost too many one-on-one battles. I think it would have tightened it. It would have maybe given us a push, but we had that that 8-minute stretch, I think, in the second period where we were pushing really hard and, we didn't sustain that. So we didn't play consistently for 60 minutes. So I don't know if it would have made a difference.
Yeah, I think that game had a little bit of everything. I liked our guys' effort tonight. I thought everybody was pulling the rope for us tonight. Some real big efforts. I thought Carl had a real strong night. He was skating around everywhere out there. He was solid. And then we were tested there in the second period. We had a couple great days we gave up, and Tom was great in net and shut the door for us. And then I thought our guys really did a good job there after that penalty kill there. That put the pressure on us for 4 minutes there in the third period, big penalty kill. And then obviously our guys were pretty solid from that point on and took control of the game.
Goal scorer for the Coventry Blaze was Jack Hopkins. Goal scorers for the Belfast Giants were Bobo Carpenter, Kieran Long, Carl Boudreau, Mark Cooper, Gabe Bast and Scott Conway. Every single goal was scored even strength, and it was Tom McCullum in nets for the Belfast Giants. Says we bullied them.
Yeah, I thought, again, we scored in important times. You get 2 quick goals in the second period, and then we got another one, and then obviously get 2 really quick goals again together in the third. Tom was excellent. I mean, he made some really timely saves. But that arena, that rink that Coventry have there, and they have some big bodies as well. But I just thought we really put it to them. We played a full 60-minute game. Adam's always looking for positives coming out of every game, and obviously they get that game. I think it was in the 3-0, and they got it back to 3-1. And you're sort of thinking, but it was just towards the end of the second period, and you're sitting thinking, all right, okay, let's stay tight until the end of the second, come out the third, regroup, and get going again. But if you look back 3 or 4 weeks ago, our defensive unit weren't really jumping up into the play. They weren't really, I don't think they were too confident about getting forward and then making sure they're getting back again. But that game alone, over the weekend, Delambo scored, Josh Roach scored, Gabe Bast scored, Boudreau scored. You basically got guys there stepping up and getting goals from the back end, and that makes a massive, massive difference. I still think we can play better. I still think that we've got, we're going to pump a team. We're going to beat 7 or 8 past the team here very soon. But it's important that we keep the run going. Coming out of Cardiff the night before, Davy and I talked on it on maybe Monday, I think it was. Coming out of Cardiff the night before, guys were playing 23, 24 minutes. Going into the next night, I think Gabe Bast played 24, 54 on Sunday night. And you need to stay in the penalty box. You need to get timely goals. But I thought it was a really solid team performance, just like the night before. And we just did. When they looked like they were getting a bit of momentum, we literally snuffed it out, and we just held them to the side and kept them to the outside. So a really solid performance, and great to get 4-point weekend away from home against the top 2 teams.
David, gives your take. You were at the Glasses. We're going to bring Gabe Bast in just a second to get his take on all of this, but give us your take before we bring him in.
I guess from my perspective as a Belfast Giants fan, I want to see a really hard-working team, and we outskated, and they couldn't skate with us, especially in the third period. We've done all the hard work, we'd killed them, and that's when your talent can shine through, when you've exhausted another team. And I just thought we had the premium players then come into their own, the likes of Scott Conway and all coming up with goals. And Simon, said all the D-men with a point at least at the weekend, right across the board. Tom McCullum thought was excellent. Same with Western Saturday night, give us the platform to build and take the wins, but not an easy place to go. Coventry have been good this season everywhere they've went down at home, and we went down and bossed that game from start to finish. It was a tricky enough first period, but the foundation was laid in the first period, and we had hard work, came out and got the goals early in the second and went and pushed on. Really, really well-deserved win. As we talked in the first difficult travel day on Friday, long travel day as well on Sunday, coming up from Cardiff, wherever we came from, and getting there late in the afternoon, and it's that sort of 5:30 face-off, funny old time for a face-off, less than 24 hours after you finish the Battle Royal in Cardiff. So a really strong, as I said at the end of the first piece there, for me, the best 2 games we put together this season, and things are just starting to nicely click.
Let's bring in the guy who scored the 5th goal on the fifth goal in Coventry on Sunday night. Please welcome back to a view from the bridge, Gabe Bast. How you doing, Basty?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Turn your phone 90 degrees.
Pardon?
Turn your phone 90 degrees, or your iPad or whatever is 90 degrees.
Let's see if this works.
Shoot flick.
What?
There you go. See that? There we go. Son. As we're in this Coventry game, as we're talking about this Coventry game, you got a goal in this game. Give us your take on how we played in this.
Yeah, you know what? I thought Coventry, like you guys were saying, tough travel day coming in from Cardiff, but you know what? I thought the boys handled it really well. I thought our first period was good, and I think we just kept building throughout the game, and then finally in the third period, we were able to break things open.
How difficult is it to do? Because I said it's a 5-game road swing, so you haven't actually played a home game in nearly 3 weeks. But to finish it like you have with those 2 wins must give you confidence coming back into these games, especially this week with the games on Wednesday night and then Sheffield on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing better than playing home games. Obviously, it gets a little tiresome on the road, and it kind of just mentally sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to get up for a game. But yeah, coming home, I think it's going to be a lot of fun here on Wednesday and Sunday.
Basti, let's talk a D-man's best friend, the goalies. You've got Tom and Wes playing really well, and Dicko obviously traveling at the weekend as well. Those guys give us the platform to go on to the wins.
Yeah, absolutely. They both have been fantastic this year. You know what? There's times when we need them. We've they're lacked discipline in our own zone, and they've kind of saved our butts or whatever. But they both have given us the confidence, and it's been awesome to have them both back there.
And a cheeky wee goal for yourself. Also, go ahead, says I thought you were on the phone. Sorry, crack on.
I was, but it's called multitasking. Davey, you wouldn't know anything about that. Yeah, big fan. Your nice haircut there, big lad. Thanks very much. Talk us through obviously, I mean, you're playing a ton of minutes right now. I mean, just short of 25 on Sunday night, to 23 and a half on Saturday night. You one of these guys that would complain a bit about ice time, or that you're not getting enough, or you're getting too much?
No, not really. I don't know. I find I probably play better when I'm playing more. I don't know. I think probably most people would say that just because you get into a rhythm of the game. I mean, everybody's probably got their cap until they start getting too fatigued. But I think the more you play, the better the rhythm you get into, and then that's kind of when you start feeling good.
Your goal on Sunday night against Coventry, top shelf, obviously a really quick, smart play from Coops coming off the bench. It was a bad change by Coventry. Talk us through the goal.
Yeah, I think there was I think it was Osti just on the left-hand side. He got mauled by like 3 or 4 guys, and I was on the right-hand side, and there was just nobody there. So I honestly thought it might have been a breakaway. But yeah, Carl made a good play of getting it up to me, and then Coops driving the net, and I was looking for Coops all the way, and then I just decided to shoot it.
You've obviously played with, I think, everybody in the roster in the back end this year. I was trying to get those combinations. What way? I mean, obviously you've been playing the last couple of games with Carl, and you've had Bo earlier in the season as well. What about? Is there a preference for you? Or you don't care?
No, I don't really care. Whatever the coaches feel. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty easy. Once you get out there, everybody plays pretty similar game. There's not too much tendencies. It's probably harder for them to play with me than it is for me to play with them. So.
The last time you were here, Gabe, obviously, trophies galore, and then you went back, played at Red Deer. How difficult a decision was it to come back to us?
Well, it wasn't that hard. You know what? I missed it. I missed just the competitiveness of it. Yeah, and I just wanted to come back here and win, get another treble under the belt.
How was it sold back to you? Because obviously, you there might be a bit of anticipation coming back in, or there might be a bit of reluctance if you don't know many names or many faces in the locker room. But you've come back in and you know names and faces in the locker room. Was that a big thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember talking to Steve and Kiefer, and they were talking about the guys that they wanted to bring in, wanted to bring back, and you know what, they made it pretty easy when they make a lineup like that.
He probably would have been back on a season. Probably would have been back on a season earlier, Paddy, if it answered his phone. He lost his phone for seemed like 6 months.
Yeah,
that is true.
Is that the way it goes? Basti is just like
6 months, 6 months partying from winning the treble.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
Basti, we were talking about Cameron Pound on Saturday night and the sort of evolution of the game, and like there's less fighting going on, but you've got the likes of Riley Brandt there, who's a bit of a wee rink rat. He's going around trying to flatten people. Pounder steps in. You know, that adds a lot of energy to the camp. You know, it's great to see someone stepping up there and you know, putting him in the box for 5 as much as anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pounder did a great job. I don't think Brandt was his first guy that he wanted to go, but you know what? He answered the bell. He got the guys going, and kudos to Pounder, because Brandt is a pretty good fighter.
You must be like the energy that brings you. Simon's talking there about the likes of you and Roachy and stuff playing 23, 24 minutes, and you've maybe Cameron, you know, playing maybe 10, 11, 12, whatever. So for him to step in there, get his ice time, you know, and use it to do something really constructive for the team.
Yeah, it's huge. Anytime, there's a fight or a big block shot or something like that, you know what, it gets the boys going, and I think it's important, especially in a big game like that. You know, everybody's gotta add some value to the lineup, and you know what, Pounder did a great job of stepping up there and creating momentum for us.
Before we let you go, Gabe, we just want your input on something, and this is something we quite often land on the lads. It's the player of the month for November, and we have our nominations. The nominations, as chosen by you, only 3 of them. There's going to be Bobo Carpenter. We also have number 71, Carl Boudreau. And as the third nomination, we have all 3 goalkeepers in Jackson Whistle, Tom McCullum, and Andrew Dixon. We'll come to you in just a second, Gabe. We're going to choose between. Let's go with you, says. Who's your choice between those 3?
Bobo. Coming off an injury, he's had a tough start to the season. Coming off the injury there mid-November, just about the 10th of November, he's got 4 goals and 2 or 3 assists. Seems to score really important goals to get the game going. He loves getting first goal. But it's for me, it's Bobo this month.
Davy?
It's a very, very, very first shout, especially coming back off that terrible injury he took in Manchester when he got mugged. But you know, Cards came in as well there. He's played forward, he's played D for a D-man, skates like a winger, absolutely superb. I think he's been a great addition at the back end. He's allowed a level of confidence there in our D core that's you can see it taking shape, but I'm going to go with the trio of goalies. I think that they go through the month the way they've gone through it and stepping in and out between the pipes when they've had to and making massive saves, none more so than Jackson's with 10 seconds to go, or we'll lose in Cardiff, you know. So big moments from the goalies, and Tom played superb, but they are a trio, and I'm going to go with the goalies this month.
Mine's going to be Carl Boudreau. Came in the game against Manchester, scored a goal, has been absolute. Thought he was great again against Coventry. I think he's been great since he's come in. Mr. Gabe Bast, who's your choice for those three nominations for Player of the Month?
You know what? Those are all really good nominations. I thought Bobo's been great, Carl's been great, but I'm gonna agree with Davey, and I'm gonna go with the goaltenders as well. You know what? They've made some huge saves at the right time, and you know what I think.
That's their job.
They bailed us out a few times, so it's well deserving.
Fantastic. Well, the nomination, sorry, the voting will open on Wednesday morning and will go on until Saturday. Cast your vote between Bobo Carpenter, Carl Boudreau, or the goalies. Gabe, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you back in a Belfast Giants uniform, and let's hope that by the end of the season you're just as successful as the last time.
Yeah,
well, thank you very much.
You love the podcast, mate.
I love it.
I want to take us back to, believe it or not, the 27th of June 2000, when the Belfast Giants signed their second ever player to their roster. And the Belfast Telegraph ran an article that goes like this: Belfast's newest sporting star is set to swap the Canadian Prairie for the Ice and Lagan side. He's convinced it won't be long before the Northern Ireland public are as in love with hockey as he is. The Belfast Giants today announced Kevin Riehl as their second big name signing in just a week. And Riehl, a man with experience in leagues in North America, Italy, Germany, and England, is looking forward to committing to the province. Speaking from the back of a tractor on the vast Canadian prairie, somewhere out in Alberta, Kevin said, "I thought it would be nice to go and see Northern Ireland. I've heard a lot of good things about the place, and I'm confident we can put on a competitive team that can finish in the top four, if not higher. I was part of a new team when I played in Birmingham in Alabama, and once people saw their first game, they were hooked. It's going to be the same in Belfast." Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Riehl.
How's it going?
Super Kev. The prairies.
Yeah, the prairies. Yeah.
How accurate was that? Were you sitting on the back of a tractor when the call came?
Actually, you know what? I think I was. We were doing a little bit of I think some haying at that point when we had all our cattle and stuff. So yeah, we were busy, I think, at that time.
You were one of the famous names that came across from that Bracknell B side, one of the ones that we stole to build our own team. And I assume, like all the others, Wiss just quietly had a word.
Yeah, you know what? He did have a few phone calls, old Whistle Dog there, and said, you know what? We got to think a good thing going to be going on in Belfast. If you're interested, let me know. And I think that just started the ball rolling.
I know it's kind of cliche, Kevin. There, you were on the back of a tractor or whatever, but that first roster was nearly all. Am I right in saying we're nearly all Western Canadian boys, all farm boys?
I think, yeah, there was a lot. I mean, right from Paxton to oh man, going back there to, yeah, I think there was a lot of, I think, some guys from Saskatoon and that area there. So yeah, I think it was loaded up quite well. I think first more in that second, third year, we got a few U.S. guys there with Keefe and a few of those boys, right? So, and Barons. So I think that's where, if my memory serves me correct, yeah, we were loaded up pretty good there.
Kev, take us back to obviously the first year in Belfast, and obviously Davey touched on the signing and the article in the newspaper and what have you, but it's when you look at the guys that you came in with and you're going on the road for the first 3 months. And we all know that, when you're playing hockey and that's when you gel together, when you get to see each other every day in the locker room at home. But when you go on the road, you get to spend more time with each other, maybe have a beer after the games. I know it's changing now. There's not as many beers that are floating about the locker room after a game, especially playing the next day. But what's your memories of that long road trip to get your season started?
Well, I think that it was one of those things. I heard your previous player there talk about, they were gone for 2 weeks. I said, yeah, we tried the 3 months that we did. It was actually something that I think the guys just kept building up a little bit of camaraderie so that we were ready for, we couldn't wait for that first game at home. Right. And to show the crowd what we have. But I think it was tough. It was a long haul for some of the players that weren't used to maybe their first years, the first years in that league in the old ISL, I think, is that what that was, and
Yeah.
stuff. So we came from Bracknell with the hopes of kind of doing the same thing, and then you're on the road for that long. So it was, like you said, it was nice to get together with everybody and kind of gel. And we did. We when we got home, we kind of went on a little bit of a tear there, but it's always great to be on the road with the guys. I mean, sometimes you just get into a rut at home, especially if you're not doing that well. Sometimes it's great to get away and the girlfriends and the wives and everything, and the extra pressure from the fans. You just go on the road and you're with the boys, and like you said, have a few drinks and just remember what you're there for. Have some fun and play a good game of hockey.
When you look back again at the road trip and then all building up, I mean, we just started our 25th year last week, the 2nd of December, with a party at the SSE Arena, well, next door in W5. And there was like 1,300 fans turned up. We're selling out more or less every game right now. 6,500 to 7,000 people every single night. When you were there the first year, and it's famously, there was an article in the newspaper saying that it'll never last. Did you think that we would get to 25 years?
Well, I think that, my crystal ball is Davy read off there. I said that wait until they get to see the product. Yeah. Right. And when you have good people in charge right from the beginning, I think that they didn't want it to fail. And I think the players that they've put in you've always had somebody there. I'm away from the scene there, but every so often a clip will come across of a player or something, or hey, you played there. The hockey world is a small world, and especially I'm coaching now in a AAA under 17 league here in Medicine Hat, and that's the high end for that age group. And I'm coaching against my winger there. Jason Ruff's an assistant coach over in Lethbridge, and we bump into each other, and we kind of, we mention, the old days and stuff. And when you have good people in charge that want a good product and have the pride to keep it going, I don't think I had a doubt that it was going to last this long, to be honest with you. And it's not, blowing smoke up your guys' backside or anything like that right now, because I'm on here, but it was when you have guys at the beginning wanting to commit for the 3 years, 4 years, and keep it going. The Colin Wards, Paxton Schultes, myself, the Ruffs, that let's keep it going. And then so even on the downturns, a little bit there, I think a few years after where but why would a guy like Theo Fleury want to come over, right? You got a good product, right? So I think it's great. You have I seen you there and the crowds and the goals a little bit before I logged on. That's fantastic. Keep it going. Go for another 25 years.
Here's hoping. You mentioned his you mentioned his name there, Kevin, and it's something, especially amongst the I dare say the old timers like myself, Davy and Says, and you talk to the guys you can remember all the way back to you guys playing. Ruff, Riehl, Barons is a line that will go down in Belfast Giants history as being just one of the most dominant lines in our time in regards to the ISL and bringing us that league title. What was it with you three that made it work so well?
Oh boy, I think the three of us, I think we like to compete. I think at all times, right? I think we were pretty smart hockey players. I think Barons had that knack around the net, and Ruffles is basically one of those guys that you never wanted to get into one of those battles with, because you're probably going to be on the wrong side of it. A big body that could had good hands and was just a strength out there. And I think that my my hockey sense and ability to get to a net and put a few in the net was what I was known for. So I think that the three of us just gelled. I think as soon as Sean got in the lineup there with us and got put with us, we had a good time together.
It was interesting because obviously Sean came in quite, well, I say late. He came in about a month or so into the season and hit the ground running in a game against the Nottingham Panthers. But given where we started, given that first game, and given the fact that a year later, I remember at the time, a year later we played. A year from the opening of the Odyssey Arena, we won, we were 9 points clear at the top of the ISL. It showed exactly what could be built with regards to a championship team, given the right resources?
I think that you got to give a lot of credit, like I said earlier, to Dave Whistle and guys like that were around at that time that recognize that guys that like to win, and do what it takes to win. Like a lot of guys like myself and that scored a lot of goals. We got a lot of press and credit and stuff, but there was a ton of guys that did all that lugging of the hard work, the blocking the shots, the killing the penalties, the Bowens. I don't know if the fans remember those guys, big bodies that did a lot of stuff. Colin Ward, and I think don't have to probably say it too much, but a guy like Paxton Schulte that he did a lot of dirty work and made some space for us guys out there that we can do our things. The Sean Barons and myself can do our thing, and Jeff Hode, good captains, that we took pride. We thought this Belfast is our second home, right? So we want to do things for the fans. They're paying their hard money to come out and support us, so we better get our asses in gear.
Kevin, you talk about making Belfast your second home. It turns out that a lot of those boys that you played with in that first season have made Belfast their first home. Stewie, Johnny, Bosey, who else? Killers, of course, is over in Cardiff now. West's son's playing for us. It seemed to be a city a lot of boys came and just fell in love with.
I can kind of restate what I was saying is that when Whistle called and said that, hey, we're gonna take the run at this thing over in Belfast and start it up, and when you and on this side of the pond, when you're going, Belfast 25 years ago, and everybody's like, whoa, really? Hockey? And you're going like, well, yeah. And when you go in the first 2 weeks there and how friendly everybody was, and you just got right into the mix of it. And I mean, my wife was pregnant at that time. My daughter, Gina, was born there. And, we had people like, you might as well just come over and lend a hand here and just kind of immersed us, right, in your guys' city and the surroundings. So why wouldn't people want to come and stay, right, when you've had a good go of it, right?
It must also give you Paddy waxing lyrical there about the Burns rough Riehl line, and we did a thing during COVID, our starting sixes, who the best players we had nothing much to do during COVID with no hockey to watch. We had to come up with things to do, and going reviewing a lifetime of hockey, 20 plus years of hockey, and it must give you immense pride that line that you're involved in, Riehl, Rough, Burns, is still like us three. Being slightly older than some of maybe the newer fans would say, it stands peerless, really, in terms of what we've had represent the club.
Oh, it goes. I think it goes to where I kind of when I tell and everybody asks, in my career, if you look back from my days in junior playing in town here in Medicine and holding a record in the WHL for the most goals for a Tiger, that sits up there. But then when you go into the pro division and you're kind of bouncing around and you finally find a place again where you this is where you feel, I don't want the word comfortable, but it just clicks. And when you got with those two players that like to compete and we kind of gelled, man, it was so much fun. And that's where I kind of tell everybody, I said, you know what, the most fun I think I had playing in my pro career was Belfast. And it's no slight on the other areas or teams. It was because I had fun in Germany, I had fun in Italy, but it clicked there, and we had we had such again support, and I think that helps. And then the guys just all got along together, and that helps, and that's what made it, I think, a great line. And definitely proud to be a part of that. And in 25 years, I hope that people can still say that, and they have a few pictures of us still kicking around.
Yeah, and then the one guy that we often say, I think the three of us would agree that who we believe is the greatest guy to ever put on the jersey, and Jason Ruff. He obviously says he's out there in Lethbridge. We have Scott Conway playing for us at the minute, who's competitive. He had Simon tell you if it was darts in the locker room or his table tennis, whatever. I saw Jason Ruff at Pirates Golf at the Ice Bowl, being as competitive as he was against Nottingham Panthers. He had that about him as well. Are you still in touch with him apart from the hockey?
I see, like I said, I a few years back, like his sons were a little bit older than my son. So then we kind of crossed paths, like again, in the rink and stuff. And, but now, like I said, he's in the same division. He dropped down a division and to help out their coach there. So he's an assistant coach with the Lethbridge Hurricane under 17 triple team. And I'm the head coach of the SEAC Tigers here. And so we only get to see each other a little bit, but when we do, we always quickly, before the game start, we'll be hanging off onto a corner, the opposing coaches, and we're laughing and giggling more than, and hey, he's supposed to be battling against that other coach, but we're talking old school and how things are and who have you talked to and stuff. And so it's great. Those memories are going to be there forever, right? It's a long life connection.
What's Kevin Riehl up to these days?
Whoa, boy. Well, I'm glad I'm actually doing this today because I've been an account manager for Baker Hughes. It's a chemical company in the oil field. I've kind of put the farming on the back burner there as getting older and stuff. And that's my main job right now. And actually it's snowing to beat the band today. So being inside talking to you guys, I'm happy doing this today.
And you just touched on, you've got your sons are playing hockey now. Do they aspirations to be pro players, or are they just doing it for fun right now?
So my son had an opportunity to go to play in the SJHL and instead decided to go to university and get his degree. So he's already graduated out of university with a kinesiology degree and working in that. And my daughter, she just finished the one that was born in Belfast. She just actually graduated too. She's a pharmacy tech in Medicine Hat here. So yeah, my kids are all we're empty nesters here, the wife and I. So yeah, and then actually he after he was done at school, he was still bitten by the bug. So he's actually one of my assistant coaches right now, helping me out with this team.
Brilliant, absolutely superb. We've been lucky enough where with this season we've had some of the year one boys, so with Jason Bowen, Colin Ward, we've had helped me out here, boys. My mind's
Jeff Hode.
He was on a couple weeks ago. I've actually had a message. I had a message today. Calvi was the first one. Calvi was actually here. He was coaching in Cardiff University in Ottawa. So he came over. He came here with his team in pre-season and played, and then we got him on the pod as well. But we've been lucky enough to have those guys on. Shane Toporowski sent me a message back today. So I know he only played a handful of games in year one, but we're maybe going to try and get a chat with him as well. But it's been absolutely brilliant chatting and reminiscing about all the memories. And you know what I mean? I'm sure you've noticed that with your 17-year-old group that you have at the minute, the hockey players are changing. There's a lot more, what's the word for it? Without sounding rude. There's a lot more needy. Whereas when you look back in the days you were playing, it's, you just basically strap them on and get out there and play. But the game is changing.
Oh yeah, I think that there's still a little old school with the new school. I think you guys might find it. I don't know if you're in the coaching or if you're just dealing with the younger generation now. When we hit the bench, it wasn't that you were just not yelled at, but you were told, hey, this is what we're doing. Where a lot of the kids now that like why a lot more instead of and you got to break it down a little bit more for them. As a coach, I see that where, okay, well, fellas, this is really why they love. The video technology now is unbelievable. Right now with our league, every game is on Flow TV. You can click on and you can watch our under 17 triple team play against Ruff's under 17 team when it comes on the schedule. And not only with that, within a day, it's actually downloaded to a source that sends us back all the video and stats, the stat lines. And I can break the video down with my under 17s and going, hey, look, this is where you are. It breaks down where the goals were on the goaltender. I know going into my next games, I can bring up a thing with where the percentages of the goals go in on the opposing goaltenders for my games this weekend.
If you'd have had that information and analytics back then, you would have scored an absolute bucket load.
Well, I'll agree but disagree, because sports is also if you're just going to do the numbers, then you would put the perfect defensive player against the perfect offensive player, and you wouldn't leave the neutral zone by analytics. But at the end of the day, it's how much you want to compete, right? That blows it out of the water. Sometimes it gets overcoached and overused. And yes, you can break video down and use the stats, but at some point, it's still a game, and it's still, you got to have a heart to take the extra shot or the extra, the push, the shove. Are you going to stand back in there? Analytics might not break that down when a guy's, or a goaltender, how many saves is he going to make when there's four guys the size of trees in front of him, but he just managed to make that save. It comes down to that sometimes too. So I think there's a great place for it. We use it, but we don't rely on it. Let's put it that way.
Kevin, it's been great chatting to you, but I've got a couple more questions before I let you go. And it's I want to talk trophies, because in your time with the Belfast Giants, you won two of them. You won the league title, the Ice Hockey Super League title in 2002, and then the Ice Hockey Playoffs in 2003. Obviously, the title that we won in 2002, you won it away at Bracknell. Chad Allen scoring that winning goal. But tell us about, and we've had a couple of guys on, and I'm sending, I had a message earlier on from Jeff Hode, who wanted me to send his regards to you. He says, the long time, but he valued you greatly as a teammate. But we had him on. You're going to see his face in a second, the video of the trip back and then the arrival at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, that was surreal, because we knew there was a good group of fans when we were in where the heck was that there? That we were in Nottingham. Well, Nottingham when we won the league title there. Sorry, and when we come back from that one, I couldn't believe how many people were at the airport. Really, it was surreal, and it was so much fun, and I think that one goes back. We had such a good team, quality guys. You mentioned Chad Allen there. It's just, brings back great memories. I just can't stop smiling when I'm seeing some of these old videos here. It was fantastic.
Yeah, some great players. And then obviously we go to that your final weekend as a Belfast Giants and as a Belfast Giant, and that was in Nottingham in the playoff. Right. In the playoff files, we do have a grainy photograph, not from your final game, but from your second last game for the Belfast Giants, which was ultimately a 0-0 against the Sheffield.
Oh, I know what you're going to show.
Two great goalkeeping performances from Joel Lang and Ryan Back, and it went all the way down to penalty shots. And the man who scored that victorious penalty shot that sent us through to the final. And a big thanks to Gary Jackson for this, and a very grainy video from those times. What do you remember about that game? Because that game, I remember sweating buckets through that game. Never mind the players on the ice.
Well, I remember that the goaltenders were outstanding. Yes. I remember there was some great shots and some great plays where you're thinking, oh, there's in it, and you're like on both sides, you're going like, okay, well, why didn't that go in? And everybody on the bench is kind of like, that, okay, just keep going, fellas, right? And then when it went down to it, I think it was that I've always had that kind of confidence that just where's my chance? Just give me the shot. We're going to do this, right? And I'm not too sure if I can remember the photographer's name, but I've got that hanging down in my actually at my office, and I got one downstairs as well. And he got a complete shot of when the puck hit the water bottle, and so the water bottle is in the air when I shot that one. So it's actually a fantastic photo. I got kudos to him for making that photo.
Michael Cooper, and I brought this up the other week with Jeff Hode, because Jeff Hode's in the background of that photograph.
Yes, he is.
With his head in his hands.
Yeah, he is. He was watching that one go in. Yeah, I
remember that very well. And then obviously we go to the final. We go to the final against the London Knights, the final game that the London Knights actually competed in. And as great as that game was, Shane Johnson more or less turned out the hero in that game.
Yeah, I think go back to your previous question on what made us great. that just answers the question right there, Patrick, is that so many guys could step up at any time, right? We're not even mentioning, like Paul Cruz and that group that was, leaders and stuff, right? So, it was just Johnny's time to shine then, right? And he played well, and he, man, how many years more did he play, right? And just to help out the organization. So, that's why I think it was such a close group, and why we won a lot.
And and another player in Johnny who's still in Belfast, still got his life in and around Belfast.
Nice.
Kevin, listen, it's been great having you on. It's been great reminiscing. You were a great player for the Belfast Giants. I have one last question, and I've been asked this of all the guys. Do you miss playing, and if so, why?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I miss playing? Yeah, I think that coaching gives a little bit of it with seeing how you can mold some kids at the beginning of the year to the end, and we've had a little bit of success here with the team at this level. A few years back, we won a provincial title with an under-18 double team. That was because I just like to win, but I mean, it's more about kind of development, and so it's great to see what you can from one to the end of it. But the missing would be the dressing room with being around the guys, and there's not really anything else in life that really can get your adrenaline going, and probably my hair just about felt like it was on fire when I did score that shootout goal, right? So I don't know if there's really anything that that can really get the blood going if you're an athlete. It'd probably be the same if you're a footballer that penalty shots at the end, and he's the one who scores, and he can, the crowd's going crazy, and that just that adrenaline rush, and then just the dressing room. You're with a bunch of guys for that, those seasons, and you get close, and you want to be there every day, right? So those are the things you miss, and just you get to act like a kid for for quite a bit of the years of your life.
Kevin, listen, we really appreciate your time. You are stitched into the fabric of the Belfast Giants, the trophies that we've won, the memories that we have. We've had 25 seasons of this great club. You were one of the first goal scorers, one of the first team. We appreciate your time. We appreciate what you give up. You had a great career. You had a great career, you said, about Medicine Hat in Italy, in Germany. You were back, you played in Italy again, but and you won titles with Bracknell Beach, you won titles with the Belfast Giants, but we appreciate it, everything you've done for our club. So thank you.
Oh, it was all my pleasure being there, and really appreciate it. And like I said, I hope this thing just keeps rocking for another 25 years for sure. Hi to all the fans, and keep it going. Hopefully the team has, again, good success this year.
Thanks.
Save the date.
Big thanks to Kevin Louis Riehl for his time. Before we go on to talk about the testimonial of the advert we've just seen, let's just have a quick recap just there, because obviously, Davey, we talked about the goals he scored, pivotal goals that he scored as well, some great memories with him, and what a great player he was for our organisation.
Tell you what, he's looking well.
20
years down the line, life's been good to him. Paddy was said during the interview there about, how his name is still 25 years after he started playing for us, his name is still up there with the best that have ever pulled on the jersey. And I think that's testament to the type of player and the impact he had for the club. And we're very, very privileged to be able to do this podcast sometimes, and to have guests like that tonight. It just still gives me goosebumps, reminiscing about what happened 20 odd years ago, and that weekend in Nottingham that, you showed the goals from. A seminal weekend for the club, winning our first playoff championships. Johnny with 2 slap shots he talks about often. If you get a chance to talk to Johnny, go tell me about them. He'll tell you about the old wooden sticks he was using and everything about it. And and you see those guys were fortunate last weekend or the weekend before when we were home for the Friendship 4 to be able to have a wee chat with Johnny. He was in great form. So we're very, very lucky to have such a rich tapestry of a history as the club, for a club that was never going to do anything, and I'm sure you'll come on to what's maybe going to happen over the next few days. But you talked about Bozy, we talked about Stu, Johnny, Killer, all these guys that came way back. Paxton, although he has, went back to Canada to make his life, he's still very much a Belfast man at heart, so we're very, very lucky that those guys that came and were foundational to the structure of this club still to this day, are happy to jump on a podcast and chat with us three old boys about it. But I'm forever grateful for those days, and I just want to know what Louis drinking because I need some of it.
So it's like I brought up that penalty shot against the Sheffield Steelers in the semi-final of the playoffs that weekend, the second last game that he played for our club. I remember it vaguely. I think I had a few beers because I had to get my way through. I had to get my way through it. You obviously had that game beforehand, which was London against Nottingham, which came down to the 0.2 goal and the excitement of that weekend. But the fact that game went on and on and on with two magnificent goalkeepers, stonewalling each team, and it just came down to that one goal with Kevin Riehl, and he was already in Belfast Giants history, but he absolutely cemented it by putting us through to that final.
Yeah, Davy just had a really good line there about these guys set the foundations for our club. And you know what? I don't think we could have wished for anybody better. When you look back at some of those guys that, again, 25 years later, there's some of them still living here now and married to local women and yeah, we've been very, very lucky. I mean, that game in particular, I'm pretty sure I was in Portugal when that game was on, and I kept on looking back at I can't remember the name of there was a box score type thing that we kept on refreshing. The internet wasn't that long up and running at that time. I just can't remember the name. There was a score line. Remember the score system? It used to
we had IHL back then.
Ice Web or IHL.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I kept on refreshing it, and instead kept on coming up as 0-0. I was cursing. I go, this bloody system, this flipping internet will never last. Then obviously 25 years later, 23 years later, but I just couldn't see the score coming through, and then I gave up and just went to the pub and watched the football. But look, so some of the goals that we Louis scored were unbelievable, and that was probably the biggest one he scored for us. He did get a number of really good ones, but that's probably the biggest one, and most memorable one that we'll all look back on in years to come and remember. And you know what? I really enjoyed that chat. Davey said, we've been very, very lucky to chat to some guys over the last couple of months. And maybe, you know what? I think I might reach out to Jason Ruff. I know he was year 2. We can see if we can get Ruffles on.
We get 25 seasons, and maybe we'll get as many from throughout the history as we can. We talked to Doug Christensen the other week. We'll talk to who we can get and reminisce about the great times of this great club, because there's so much history over the last 25 seasons. It's worth delving into.
Do you know what? Even if some of the fans want to give us some suggestions, it's not always possible because some people just disappear or end up. Should
we just leave that one there? We're not going to mention that one.
We all know who you're talking about.
Still stay in touch with people, so we'll do our best to try and reach. Let us know who you want to hear from, and we'll see what we can do.
Let's chat now about some of the things, lads, that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, it was great to see you boys the other week at the Friendship 4, and big thanks to everybody who sent some great feedback on our show last week that we filmed through the Friendship 4 and some of the interviews. It was really, really great. But since then, we obviously had the event at W5, which was so well attended. It was so much fun to be part of. The Q&As, and thanks to everybody who turned up to the Q&As in the lecture theatre and chatting to some of the old guys, some of the current guys, and some really, really interesting insight there. We had the unveiling of the large puck, which I think needs a nickname of some sort at the front of the SSE Arena, but a monument to the 25 seasons of the Belfast Giants, to the history that we have. And also, we'll come to the Adam Keefe testimonial in a second. But Davy, the Hall of Fame, which is going to be over the next day or two, which the Belfast Giants are putting together to remember and honour some of the key figures within the organisation over the last 25 years. And the first 5 names to go into that are Bob Zeller, Albert Maslin, Dave Whistle, Jason Bowen, and the man whose shirt is just behind you there, number 20, in Mark Morrison. Going to be a phenomenal time, but what a brilliant initiative from the organisation, because not everybody's number can be retired, but a lot of people deserve to be remembered.
Yeah. And that the whole jersey retirement brings up a fabulous debate as to whose numbers should be there, who shouldn't be there, blah blah blah. And you can't retire everybody's number, and some players have made a massive impact with the Belfast Giants, but they'll there's also young guys want to wear. I remember Mo, when Mo retired from the game in 2010, he came back a year later for a little bit of injury cover. What do you call the young lad? Jordan Scott Brown came in and wanted to wear the number 20 jersey. There's people want to wear their heroes' numbers, and I think the Hall of Fame gives a really nice opportunity to honor the players that have came before and have made an impact. But it still gives the opportunity. You just the guy we had on, Kevin Riehl, obviously when Theo Fury came to Belfast, wanted to wear Kevin Riehl's number. So kudos there as well. But when you look back and you've got Bob Zeller, you've got Albert Masland, who got this thing off the ground with a lot of help from a lot of people. Dave Whistle, the first coach, and as I'll use the term again, foundational, brought the team from way out west in Canada because he knew what he was going to get. He brought those Western Canadian boys out. You were going to get a team, and they came in and they set the path for everything was going to. Bosey, first time I met Bosey was up in David Lloyd's. He was shifting 10. He was doing a shoulder press. I couldn't believe what he was lifting. Like I was, me, mate, 10 stone dripping wet. But watching these guys shifting 10, like moving cars just on the shoulder press, I was like, stand your mouth. And then Mark and Moultrie and Marson, Ballybean boy, from my hometown. Grew up playing in the Ice Bowl and then went on to represent his hometown team. Wore his heart and sleeve every game, give everything he could give. Eventually got the A in his jersey, and his last game as a Belfast Giant held that playoff trophy aloft as well. Gave almost 398 games, I think he played. Phenomenal, great career. He was talking, and Simon and I need to publicly thank you for letting me and Paddy be involved in that Q&A at the lecture theatre last week. Did I ever think I'd be standing in front of, couple of hundred people chatting to like heroes of mine, sitting down here asking questions? But I was lucky. I think it was until it got going, and then you're not really thinking anything other than what you're.
Paddy said on the net he was bringing it.
I always do. It's like this. Sorry, just say this. I find easy because it's just you boys, and it's Kevin Riehl and it's Gabe Bast. But standing in front of an audience, be it at McCool's, be it at off ice, be it in there, there's actual people there watching you. I can't.
I'm assuming.
I found once I'd got started, I was only concentrating on the next question, so it wasn't even so much listening to the answers, to be honest. But I was fortunate I was up in the back row and I was standing beside Kate Morrison and Justin Morrison. And Mo was asked a question by you, Paddy, about what was it like, what did it mean to be a Giant? And he gave an answer that I don't know whether the thing's recorded or not. He gave the textbook answer, the answer that I would want to hear from someone about what it means to be a Belfast Giant. And I have no shame in saying I looked at Kate Morrison, she made me cry. But she says I made her cry. But between the two of us, we were having a proper gurn because I loved that guy from the first time I seen him on the ice representing my club. He scored it when he scored his first goal, when he got his first man of the match. That was in my formative years, is really being back row, door 21, supporting the Giants. And this kid from the same town as me was playing. And that's how important it is for local people to play for this club, because it gives us something to attach ourselves to. Mo will always be like right up there. This is why I've got jerseys coming out my ears with his name on the back of them. Some of them have little messages to me on them from him, and they're things that are so important to me. And this Hall of Fame is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Whoever came up with the concept, I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to look as a thing. I assume it's some sort of physical thing as well as just you're in the Hall of Fame. But
there's an area in the southeast concourse that's going to have like hexagonal plates with details of the players and
perfect.
Little so
excited to get home over Christmas and see it, and really glad it's happening. And it really couldn't happen to 5 better men.
Says this is all part of, like, obviously, and we'll go on talking about this through the whole of the season, no doubt, when different things are happening and that sort of. But you look at the puck, the large puck that was put outside, is it to sort of signify, that this is the home of the Belfast Giants and has been for the last 25 seasons. You look at the Hall of Fame. You look at the thing that we had just the other day in W5. The organization are looking to put their mark down here to say, that how proud they are of the organization, how proud they are of the club, and that this is to the next 25 years.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a really good move that we are looking back at the history of the club. There's, as Davy quite rightly said, you can't retire every number. There's probably, there's not probably, there's a full show out there that arguments with regards to numbers that maybe could be retired, and there's a lot of NHL teams now, instead of retiring numbers, they're actually honoring numbers, and I think this is where the idea sort of stemmed from. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Steve Thornton's idea with regards to putting that sort of thing in place for the Hall of Fame and the plaques on the wall. Having the puck outside is just another symbol of the success that we've had. Obviously being under the ownership now of the Odyssey Trust now for the last 11 years, and the situation that we're in, where we're continually bringing in numbers of fans that, selling out games. We've already, the game on the 28th of February or December, it's sold out. I know that Wednesday night's going to have a really decent crowd, and I know that this Sunday is close to selling out. Every game in December is if it's not sold out, it's going to be down to single seats. And that's because our fan base is absolutely fantastic. Our season ticket holders are great, but it's the other ones that maybe can't afford a season ticket right now that still continue to find a way to get to the games and show their support. And even the event we had last week in W5, 1,200 people turned up on a Monday night at the start of December. And there was people asking, why hold on Monday night? That's the date that we're celebrating. It's the 2nd of December. It would be fantastic if we could have rearranged, they got the government to rearrange the calendar to make it a Saturday and then have a home game. Unfortunately, we can do a lot of things, but we can't do that. But, having the amount of people there, I didn't see, there's a lot of people want to complain or find a reason to complain about something. I didn't see one negative comment about that event on the Monday night. I thought it was David, Lamont, and Laura basically put the event together. Yes, there was other people that helped on the evening, but David, Lamont, and Laura, put that whole thing together. And I thought the two of them did an absolutely brilliant job. Everything that happened on the evening, whether it be, the inflated shot that was there, Scott Conway beating some 5-year-old and giving it fist pumps and, just ripping the kid apart for not going top corner. But that's the type of him. Or it was doing the talks, the three of us got involved in that. And, did you get a chance to go and see Amaze?
Oh, mate, honestly.
Neil Whiteside worked his magic in there.
Incredible work.
It's unbelievable.
You'll know better than that. Is like, obviously that was part of that night, but surely that has to be something going forward for W5 or something. Like, that's not now just lost to history, because as a piece of work, as a remembrance of the Belfast Giants and as a mark of our history and a storytelling of our history, it was superb.
Yeah, well, again, that's what you get with Neil Whiteside. The kid's genius. We've held a couple of events like OSC and season ticket holder events in there in W5 before, and that we can show that again in Amaze. If you haven't seen it and you missed it on the night, you've got to see it. It's absolutely brilliant. But again, it's not just that. There was a lot of other things that we done on the evening itself. Again, I think everybody, I didn't see a negative comment about it, which was probably the best part of it, because Laura and David worked that hard to get everything put in place, and the hours they put into it to get everything, to make sure it was exactly the way they sort of envisaged it, was fantastic. So, we're very, very lucky that we've got the Odyssey Trust as owners. What they do for off the ice as well as on the ice and within the arena, and obviously, putting the team on the ice with Adam and Steve, and off the ice with the coaches and stuff as well. We are very, very lucky to have the organization we have.
And also in the last week or so, while we were at W5, while we were part of that fantastic event, the announcement that the most no-brainer of an announcement that the organization has made in the last 25 years is the testimonial for number 47, the most successful coach we've ever had, one of the great players that we've ever had, one of the heartbeat of the Belfast Giants, as he's been christened. And the 8th of June will be the testimonial of Mr. Adam Keefe, Davy. And no man in this organization deserves it more, really.
I'm sure we'll get on to talk about Keefer's testimonial a lot over the course of the season. All I'll say on it for now is Adam Keefe said, save the date. And if Adam Keefe tells you to do something, do it.
8th of June, 2025 says.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of things that Adam will probably tell you down the line, but there was other dates that we had planned for this. But due to one reason or another, even before COVID, we'd sort of talked about it and given him the recognition, and obviously he stayed for longer, and we've had everything put in place to be successful for it. So, Adam will tell the story as we move forward towards the 8th of June. And but you're absolutely right, Davey. Get that in your diary, because it's going to be an absolutely brilliant night. Looking at some of the people that. There's a list of people that we can discuss now of who's coming back, but I'm not going to. I could just do this all night long. There's quite a list of players that he's going to bring back. So you do not want to miss it.
And one last thing before
he's doing something. He's going to do something a wee bit different. So again, just watch this space.
One for you, Davey. We've had Yvonne Revel. Granny Mo here. We're so proud of Mo. He so deserves all this, what he put into the Giants and the junior Giants, and is still working with the under-19 junior Giants. I'll be crying tomorrow night. I don't think, Yvonne, you'll be the only one, to be honest with you. It's going to be a great night.
Mo cries every night.
It's going to be a great night on Wednesday night before the game, or as part of the game against Dundee. We've got those two games coming up this week. We've got Wednesday night, both league games, Wednesday night against Dundee and Sunday night at the SSE Arena against the first visit of the season of the Sheffield Steelers. 7 p.m. on Wednesday, 4 p.m. on Sunday. As Simon says, their tickets are running out for these games, so get them in your hand. Or if you can't get down there, you can, of course, watch them on Belfast Giants TV. Looks like it's going to be this tight race is going to be tight. The Sheffield Steelers did have a bit of a stumble recently. They've regrouped in this last week. They have 4 points this weekend past, and this is their first visit, says, to the SSE Arena. Obviously, Dundee, we have to battle first, but as fans, it would be a miss not to have one eye on Sunday.
Yeah, again, the boys will be focused completely on tomorrow, and then once that's out of the way, it'll all be about Sunday. And again, the Steelers have a really good team this year, and it's not just you jest about Greenfield, being a one-man team that got Saucerman back last week. I think they're still missing Dowdy. I don't know if he's going to be back for the weekend. But look, keep on saying this. We've got a good team. We're getting healthy. We've got a good team. We've got Tom McCollum and Jackson Whistle. Would I swap them for the two of them for anybody else in the league? Absolutely not. So we're basically where we are. Dundee's up tomorrow night. It's going to be a big game. We'll come back off the back of a double win away in Coventry and Cardiff, and it's time to basically start. Hopefully, we can get a run going here and get another win tomorrow night.
In other little bits of news as well, the Challenge Cup still going on, boys, and there's still 2 games to be played, both of which involve the Cardiff Devils. They're away to Coventry tomorrow night, and then they will play just before Christmas at home to the Nottingham Panthers. In that Group A, there's still a bit of a battle. Coventry are looking to cement their place I think there's another place to be had with regards to the elimination game. I know that you can see that Sheffield Steelers are straight through the semi-finals. Nottingham Panthers are in the elimination game. That third place in Group A that Coventry currently hold, they'll need to take points from the Cardiff Devils, or Cardiff Devils drop points in order to cement that. So that game on Wednesday night at the Sky Dome is pivotal. And with regards to what's happening next in the Challenge Cup, and also in news that in Manchester, Mike Flanagan is out. He was a statement released by the Manchester Storm have said that they have mutually parted ways with their head coach after only a couple of months of him being in the position. Mike Moran is a long-time assistant coach with the organisation, former player for the Manchester Storm, a stalwart of that organisation, is said to be the new interim head coach. It has been seen that Rand Finnerty is also involved. Obviously, he is a general manager and working upstairs, but with a wealth of coaching experience himself with regards to Sheffield Steelers, the Braehead Clan, and of course down in Manchester, he'll be part of that as well. Manchester, Davy, are in a bit of a skid, and it's another sort of example that you can have. And we said this on the podcast the other week about Mike Flanagan. You can have all the experience. You can have experience in the coast. You can have experience in Europe. You can have all this coaching experience and be who you are. And you can come in here with all the world. We've seen it with other coaches. But our league's a different beast.
And I think that's probably why in the interim you've seen Mike and Ryan jumping back onto the bench to try and get something, a little bit of stability there for them. Obviously, haven't gone through their Challenge Cup group, not going brilliantly in the league. They'll want to resolve that as quickly as possible. Put a commercial hat on. This is a time of year where you don't want to be down at the bottom of the league because you want to be filling your barn around Christmas time. That's money in the bank for January and February when people aren't coming in at the same pace, So I think for whatever decision's been made there, it would be with the best interest of the club moving forward. So whether they'll have a new coach coming in or whether those guys will see it through this season, just don't know. But
We'll see how it goes in Manchester. Right, gents, let's start to wrap up. Like I said, we've got the two games this week. We're both at home after those 5 games on the road. We're at home to the Dundee Stars on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Get yourself down there. Or we got the Sheffield Steelers on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Both games at the SSE Arena. Tickets are selling fast, or you can watch it on Belfast Giants TV. Any other business?
No, again, just reiterate what Laura was saying, Marcy were saying at the start. If you can support the donation, the DKMS on the bridge on Wednesday and Sunday. If you can support that, please do.
Yeah, so important. And we say those who are watching on YouTube or on X or on Facebook can see us scroll on the bottom. Text blood to 60081. Follow at GiveBloodNI on X, and there's so many different ways, and we'll put them out in our socials. We've got the Teddy Toss coming up as well. Don't forget, and as Laura said, don't be giving us some old, worn out teddies that you wouldn't pass on to your own, But it's some brand new teddies. Give that gift of giving at Christmas time, and hopefully we have something to celebrate on Sunday.
To be fair, I don't think Laura was being mean when she said that. It's just
I know she wasn't.
We can only give sterile stuff in the hospitals. If you have got those old teddies, you want to throw them, they will go to a little dog that needs one as well. So don't be scared if you've got a dog or if you've got a little teddy bear.
Don't throw dogs on the ice.
If you're going to throw your dog in the ice, I was going to say make sure you put it in a plastic bag, but it's just getting worse now. So if you throw an old teddy on, it'll go to a good place anyway. But yes, if you want a teddy to go to a hospital or hospice or wherever, it has to be sterile. So it's just is what it is. Get it wrapped up whenever that goal goes in. Hopefully, get it on the ice, and maybe we'll see what happened. Do you see what happened that Teddy Toss the other week? The coach the punch up during the Teddy Toss.
Yeah. And the OHL, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'd be all for that. I think we should have that on Sunday.
Yeah, especially against Sheffield, get stuck in. Free for all.
Yeah. Get stuck in. Yep, those two games we said, Dundee and Sheffield this week. gentlemen. Anything? Sorry, any other business? Anything else?
It's me.
No, Davey?
Nah, man.
All good. Nice one, lads. What a brilliant show. Brilliant show. Big thanks to Laura, to Marcin. Big thanks to Gabe Bast, and of course, Super Kevin Riehl for his time for what was an absolutely superb discussion. Looking back, nearly 25 years. You can get us on X. You can get us on X/Twitter. You can get us on Facebook, kingdomofthegiants.com, and all the usual sort of things. Boys, good to see us. We'll catch you next week, and wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.